I'm back to do another book haul for you instead of cleaning my house. Responsibility. I don't have any. So with Easter coming up, we have family coming over and I'm supposed to be cleaning the house like a responsible adult would, but I got really bored after like 10 minutes and decided I'm gonna record a video really quick and then I'll go back to cleaning because this is just more fun. And so let's get on to the book haul. If you watched my last video, I told you that the majority of this was going to be all manga. So there are 17 books in total. 6 of them are regular novels, while the rest of them are manga. So I'm going to go into the manga first, and then I'll show you guys the rest of the novels. So the first manga I have here is Blood Lad by Yuki Kodama. This is a bind-up, I think, of the first 2 or 3 volumes. So basically the story is about this character here. His name is Stas, or Stas, or however you want to pronounce it. He is the most powerful vampire gang leader in the demon world, and he is obsessed with the human world and human culture. So when a Japanese girl wanders into the demon realm, he becomes obsessed with hounding her about questions about their culture and everything to do with them, and it's supposed to be a very funny comedic manga. It just sounds so good, and anything with great art really attracts me to it, and I really like the art. His face is what kind of attracted me to the book in the first place. I know that there's an anime adaptation. Most of these mangas have anime adaptations to them, but I definitely want to read it first because as booktubers, I'm sure you all understand that I'd rather read it first and then watch the show. So yes, we have that one. This next one I picked up, I don't know too much about, other than I know the author and I just saw it was by the same person as another series that I absolutely love and I needed to pick it up, and that is Monster Hunter Orage, or Orage, or I don't know how to pronounce that last word, but it's by Hiro Mashima, who is the author and illustrator of Fairy Tail, which is one of my all-time favorite manga slash animes in the world. Aside from Fullmetal Alchemist, of course. And I just was browsing in the bookstore and I noticed this cover and I was like, oh my gosh, I know that artist. And I thought it was Fairy Tail at first, but it's not. It's a completely different series. Know nothing about it other than what the title insinuates about monster hunting. So we'll have to see. Super stoked for this one. I cannot wait. I then picked up Dead Man Wonderland by Jinsei Kataoka and Kazuma Kondo. This manga is probably one I'm going to talk about a lot on this channel because based off of other manga that I've seen other booktubers try out, I think this will be the next big one in the booktubing community. It's basically set in a dystopian Japan where they have the first privately owned high security prison called Dead Man Wonderland, which they've basically turned into like a prison slash theme park with kind of like a gladiator thing to it, because all of the entertainment has to be done by the inmates, and the entertainment is like gladiator style where they have to fight each other or compete in some way where somebody ends up dying or at least getting hurt. So in this world there is a boy here. He is the main character. His name is Ganta. He gets framed for the brutal murder of his entire classroom and gets put into this prison, and it's basically about his survival in the prison and trying to find out who framed him and why, and it turns into this big, huge other storyline that just, it's such an awesome story. I actually have not read the manga for this. I've watched a lot of the show, and I love the show, but I really wanted to read it, and so I eventually just went ahead and picked it up. And yes, so you'll be hearing a lot more about this series as I go along. I probably do a review on it. It's just so you guys can get a little bit more information. If you're interested, please go check this out. It's an awesome book. I then picked up Blood Plus by Asuka Katsura. I watched the anime adaptation so long ago. It was maybe like 7 years ago or so, and I absolutely loved it. I've never read the actual manga for it, but I decided to check it out because I loved it so much. All I remember, and if I can try to explain this, is it is about this girl named Saya here who thinks she is a regular high school teenager until one day she finds out that she's not even related to the family she's been living with. She finds out she was created to defeat these like vampire monster things. Let me see if I can find a picture. Here's a picture. These creature things, she finds out she was kind of created to do that, so it's about her journey fighting these monsters and figuring out her past and learning more because she can't remember it. So really good series, and I cannot wait to jump into this manga because I remember just loving it so much. Back in the summertime last year, I was rereading an old manga series of mine, and that is Girl Got Game by Shizuru Seino. This is basically a comedy romance gender bender. It is about a girl pretending to be a guy so that she can be on a basketball team. Love this series. I will be talking more about it in another video. For the haul though, I'm not going to really go into detail about it. But the reason I bring it up is because I went ahead and bought the rest of the series. So I got volume 9 and 10. I thought I was only missing one volume, but apparently I was missing 2. This one is in great condition for being a used book. For anybody who knows their manga, the publisher Tokyo Pop is no longer in business, so any of the Tokyo Pop manga is really, really hard to get a hold of. So I got that one, but I'm really disappointed about my volume 9 because it is ruined. It has, somebody went and slashed it with some kind of knife, because that is like a really straight cut there, and I am pretty sure I paid full price for this book, so I got to contact the supplier and either get my money back for this or get something, like maybe another copy or something. But I'm really, really disappointed with the condition that this book came in, so I will be having a talk about that with them. If you watched my last manga haul and my March wrap-up, you know that I read the first volume to this series, and it is Nisekoi Volume 2 by Naoshi Komi. This is another just comedy romance love triangle with a little bit of a twist. If you want more explanation as about what the story is about, I will leave a link to the book haul where I hauled volume 1 because I go more into detail about what the storyline is really about. But just long story short, it is a love triangle comedy romance story. And I've already read this one and it was really good. So I then picked up Pluto by Naoki Urasawa and Osamu Tezuka. I don't know too much about this. All I know about this is it is a retelling story based off of Astro Boy, and it is supposed to be really awesome, and I've heard amazing things about it, and it's a very, very popular series, so I cannot wait to get to it. It just looks like it's going to be really good. I then got Toradora story by Yuyuko Takemiya and art by Zekyo. And this is just another comedy romance. Here's the guy, here's the girl, and their love story, but it's super hilarious. I read and watched this anime long time ago and decided that it needed to be in my collection because it's super cute, and it's one of those guilty pleasure book reads because I can't even explain why I like it, but you know one of those books. Yeah. And the last and final manga that I have here is Sankareya, or translated as Undying Love by Mitsuru Hattori. This has a really complicated storyline to it, but it is basically a zombie romance comedy. That's all I'm gonna say. It sounds confusing, right? Zombie romance comedy. But it's really good, and if just those 3 words has interested you, please check it out because I'm really enjoying this series. That is it for part 1 of this haul. That was all the manga. Oh, no. Oops, I forgot one. The last manga that I have here is Black Lagoon by Rei Hiroe. Don't know too much about this. I just know that this is a really popular anime. I don't know if people feel the same way about the manga, but I've heard amazing things about the anime adaptation, and I want to check it out because I want to get in more into the more action adventure stories as opposed to like the romancy stories, because there's a lot of these out, but I want to have like a variety for you guys when I do my reviews and stuff like that. So I decided to try this one out. So if you've read this one and enjoyed it, please let me know so that I know I didn't waste my money on buying something that I have no idea what it's about. So that was all the manga in this haul. The rest of them are novels. So the first one I picked up is Fire and Flood by Victoria Scott, and I've already read this one. A lot of people are comparing it as being sort of Hunger Games meets Pokemon, but in all honesty, and some people might not see the difference in this, I sort of think it's more like Hunger Games meets Digimon instead of Pokemon. And if you've watched both of those shows and know what I mean when I say it's more like Digimon, then you'll know that they are a little bit different, okay? Those two shows are very different. And I think people who have watched both shows can agree that it is more like Digimon as opposed to Pokemon. But yeah, I'll talk more about this book in my April wrap-up. I then got Dorothy Must Die by Danielle Page. A lot of people are reading this right now. I think there's a read-along with this book, and I almost joined it, but I'm in the middle of some other books right now, so I decided not to. But I've been hearing nothing but amazing, amazing things about this book, and the cover is beautiful. I love the inside of it as well. Basically, it is set after The Wizard of Oz. Dorothy comes back. She goes power-hungry, crazy, and now they feel like we need to kill Dorothy because she's crazy now. So that sounded so awesome when I found out about this book way before it came out, and I've been excited ever since, and this was one of my most anticipated releases, so I can't wait to get to it. As you all know, I am reading the first volume in this trilogy, and I went ahead and bought the last book, and it is Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. This is the last and final book in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and this thing is humongous. Not only is this a tall book, but this book is like 600 some pages. It is a honkin', you could hurt somebody with this, you really can. But I am excited. Now I have the entire trilogy. This is a beautiful, beautiful book. It's gonna look gorgeous on my shelf, and I'm excited because I'm really enjoying the first book, so I can't wait to get to the rest of the series. I then picked up The Martian by Andy Weir. I'd seen a few other booktubers picking this up recently, and it sounded really interesting. I haven't read too many sci-fi books, but when I read the synopsis of this one, it sounded really cool. Basically, it is about an astronaut that gets stuck on Mars, and it's about his survival. I'm really, really interested to get to it. I've been really obsessed with the new science show Cosmos, and I don't know why, or if this doesn't really have anything to do with that show. But after watching it for a few weeks now, I've been really in the mood to read a book that's set in space. So I picked this one. Yeah, they're not related to each other, by the way. But if you haven't watched it, by the way, Cosmos, hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson on Fox, is amazing. And Neil deGrasse Tyson is like the smartest man in the world. So go check it out. Next book I picked up is White Hot Kisses by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I wasn't too interested in it. It sort of looked like a regular contemporary. But anyways, I was watching another booktuber, and they were talking about what this book is about, and it is actually a paranormal romance, which I loved Armentrout's other paranormal romance, which is the Lux series. If you haven't read that one was really awesome too. So I wanted to check it out. All I know about this story is that it has something to do with demons and gargoyles. Can't wait to get to it. And right now, I really feel like something with romance in it, since I'm also in the middle of Daughter and Smoke and Bone, which has romance, but it's with angels, and I'm not too fond of angels, which is why I think I'm liking the book, but I'm not loving the book. So I can't wait to get to this one because Armentrout, she knows her romances, but she can also mix some other stuff in there too, and I'm really excited about this one, so I can't wait. This last book that I have, honestly, I don't know when I'll get to reading it. I just saw the cover of it, and I was like, that needs to be on my shelf right now. And it is Battle Royale by Koishun Takami. Look at this cover! This is such an awesome cover to this book. I don't know. All I know is there is a movie adaptation to this book. Something about, it's sort of like Hunger Games, where a bunch of kids are put into this tournament and they have to kill each other, but it's a lot more bloody than Hunger Games. But I definitely want to read it. It's not going to happen anytime soon though, but for now, I have it sitting on my shelf for when I want to pick it up. This is a huge book though, like, it's big. But I just loved this cover. I needed to get it because of the cover, and that's purely the only reason why. That is all of the books for this book haul. If you have any questions, comments, or if you've read any of the books I've shown you, please leave those down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!